Hello, and welcome to the Willow Cottage. Today I want to talk about something that some of you may know about, some of you may practice, and some of you may not know about or have heard about and have chosen not to practice, or um, maybe just don't understand what that is about. And that is the concept of veiling. Veiling meaning wearing a head piece over your head. I honestly don't know a lot about veiling in other cultures. Uh, I do understand Christianity veiling because when I was a very, 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 very staunch Christian, I did veil. And I stopped veiling as my life would move through different phases. And then when my brother passed away, I started veiling again. And I realized it just brought me so much comfort and grounding. And some cultures do it for modesty. Why I started veiling was because it was an outward sign to the world that I was grieving. I don't think that it was an obvious outward sign, but for me, internally, I felt like this was something I needed to do. And if you're not familiar with some of my past stories, my brother was hopefully the last of a series of very tragic events that happened in a very, very short time. And I was strong through them. And I won't go into what they were, but they were tragic, like deaths and deaths of people very, very close to me, and tragic deaths. And so then when my brother passed away, it was kind of like almost I was unable to bear any more pain and tragedy. It just was, I mean, I don't want to say the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, but it just sent me into a very, very deep and dark place. And I realized, coming out of the other side of that, I realized that the reason that sent me into such a dark place was because I hadn't had time to grieve the events at the time, because another event would happen. They happened very quickly, and so as the first event happened, I was in the grieving process, another thing happened, and then I was in the grieving process of that, and it almost like removed or replaced the grieving of the thing that happened prior to it until my brother passed. It just all kind of exploded on me in my brain, and I felt like the only way I could kind of keep my thoughts, I mean, maybe psychologically, the only way I could keep my thoughts from just exploding everywhere was to kind of bind them up into my brain, and psychologically that worked. But what I found after I started doing this, probably after a couple of weeks, I realized how grounded I felt, and how I'm just trying to think if I want to continue on in this, because I'm having thoughts about trying to compare this now with when I was a Christian and I veiled. When I was a Christian and I veiled for modesty purposes. This wasn't about that. This was something completely different. This was about holding myself to the earth, holding myself down, grounding myself, keeping myself pulled together. And one day my thoughts were everywhere and they were going everywhere. And I just took a scarf and I just wrapped my head up in this scarf. The pressure on my head started making me feel held together in some way. And so I veiled for quite a while in a lot of different ways. And I know a lot of people veil differently, but for me, and for the reasons I'm veiling, is for protection and to keep myself grounded, to keep myself feeling like I'm pulled together and I'm held together. And so I veil differently on different days. Like today, I'm using a headband on my chakra here. A lot of spiritual people that aren't necessarily Christians, but are of different faiths, religions, maybe no faith or religion, but a lot of them feel that if they wear something on their crown chakra, that it protects their energy that way. And I do believe that's true. I do believe that I have felt that. So I do veil differently for different days, and veiling for me is just something on my crown chakra that kind of puts a little bit of pressure on my head in a way that makes me know that I'm in my body. I do tend to be very not grounded is a good way to put it. So anyway, so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about veiling, and I have started veiling again, and I'm not sure if that has to do with some of the issues I'm going through with my surgery. I'm not feeling very, and maybe it's just all the medication I was taking or whatever, but I'm not feeling very grounded, not feeling very solid in my own skin recently. So I just wanted to share with you some of the veils that I have, and these are not the headband veils. These are actually veils, and these are ones I made and dyed these myself. So I made this one is just, all three of these are just out of lace. So I tied them in, I sewed them up in the back, and then you can see that they come out pretty far, so they will cover a lot of my head if I'm feeling the need for that at the time. This one is not dyed. This one I dyed with, what did I use? It was a green. I think I used some green plant, spinach. I think I used spinach to dye this one. So this one's dyed with spinach, and then this one is dyed with coffee. And you can kind of see, the difference in them. So all three of these, and a friend of mine started veiling at the same time, so I made her three as well. So these are some that I made myself. Is one of my favorite ones to wear in the summer months because it's not real heavy, but I do have some for winter time. So I have this one here, and these were either purchased or friends made them for me. So, and they were gifts. And I'm learning to crochet. Obviously I've been stalled on that, but I'm learning to crochet a little bit. So I do want to start making my own veils. And then I just have this style here that I really like if I just want to throw something on. It's bunched in the back. I think this is meant maybe for the front, but I do like to wear this part in the back and then pull this one completely over my entire head from here all the way back. So, and then recently, I was doing a little bit of headscarf research, and so recently I came across a video on how to tie a scarf in the 1940s style. So I haven't quite mastered that. I've been practicing, but I will maybe show you if you're interested. And so here is one of the scarves that I bought to do that. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know if you can see the whole scarf. Oh, it's upside down. I do that sometimes. So here's the whole scarf, and it is just so beautiful. I'm just so in love with that, especially that little beetle in the center is just so much fun. Sorry about that interruption. I had a visit I had an unexpected visitor, so that was always fun. So anyway, I'm just gonna wrap up, and in this video, I don't even know where I was or what I was talking about when I started, when it ended. So, yeah, so I've started veiling again, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and there'll probably be more information about that in the future. But until then, stay tuned and stay whimsical.